Welcome to your Rally Point podcast. Organizations need a reason to exist, and people need a reason to care, but none of it matters if you can't connect the two. This podcast is where nonprofits, advocacy groups, and mission-driven organizations discover their rallying point. It is your go-to resource for mobilizing support, building authentic connections, and driving real results. So grab your coffee, get comfortable, and let's rally together to create the impact you're meant to make. This is your Rally Point podcast, brought to you by rallycorp.com.
Hey everybody, James Martin here, back with Jack Bobin from your Rally Point podcast. Hey Jack.
Howdy.
How's the weather in Seattle?
It's going to be 61 degrees tomorrow and windy. And I think we've had one day over 80 degrees the last 3 weeks. It's summertime here in Seattle.
It is summertime. I'm headed down to Cabo in 2 weeks. I'm excited about that. So I'm going to be kicking back on the sands somewhere in a resort doing work.
Gotcha. And would that be a tequila sunrise, which is a drink,
Yep.
a margarita, or are you more like Dos Equis or...
Yeah. I'm a teetotaler, so it's going to be decaf and herbal teas and some kind of mocktail.
Yeah. For me, it would be an iced latte, as big as you can get it, preferably in a bucket.
If I were to drink, it would be tequila for sure. I'm a tequila guy, or scotch. But I'm going down with a strategy session with a team, so I'm going to be working heady stuff, which will be relaxing. But if I don't stay clear in the evenings, then my mornings are foggy, and that's not the best way to do.
Totally
strategy.
get it. Yeah. I swore off the old alcohol thing years ago, and I'm kind of glad I did. Not saying that hey, everybody likes to have a drink in the while. I don't have a problem with that, but for me, the keeping clear-headed is important these days.
My team has said, hey, you're great with a beer in you, but man, the next morning you got to drink 2 cups of coffee, and that you're not good with coffee in you. So don't. If the beer equals coffee, don't do it.
Yeah, layering
on caffeine is never good, Jack.
That's right. I do 2 cups of coffee in the morning, and that's my vice. But
all right, well, that's good. So your Rally Point podcast is about the weather in Seattle and now coffee and drinks. What keeps us up at night? The what I'd love to talk about today, Jack, on your Rally Point is that the whole point of having a rally point is bringing people together to get them to act. Now, obviously, we do that on your phone because the phone is in your pocket. It's hard to mobilize people on a device they got to go log into when they get home. They want to do it now in the moment. So we're going to talk about things that you're already doing, like social media, probably posting on Instagram or, the Facebook.
Yep.
Wherever you're active. We're going to talk about the things you're already doing, because what I want to give the audience today, Jack, with your permission, is some handholds of things that they can do right now in parallel to what they're already doing without adding more work to them. How do we take something they're already doing and make it better in 30 days?
Yeah.
And
actionable
things. And for those listening that stick for the whole time, we're going to tell you about an offer where we're going to tell you exactly what to do and help you get results in 30, 60, and 90 days. And if you don't, we'll give you all your money back. How's that sound?
Sounds like it's zero risk.
Yeah. In fact, I'll tell you what, I'll even throw in $20 beyond what you paid so I can buy you coffee or tacos or something. So you can at least say, yeah, I worked with that guy and I got something out of it.
Yeah, exactly.
So
no, I love
zero
it.
risk plus a reversal. How's that?
That's great. We were talking before the call, and oftentimes, we're so into what we do that we don't see the simple things. We see these big strategic views and, engage people, and we have all these great, grand strategic ideas, and we don't realize sometimes that we're talking to people that are sitting down at their computer at their nonprofit trying to figure out what their next move is. And that's why we're talking about this today.
Yeah. And I exactly. And part of the challenge that I have is as a strategist, and as you know, I do this for a living as a coach, working with bigger clients. I'm used to doing, $50,000 engagements where we're doing really heady stuff. Right.
Yeah.
So, $5,000-$6,000 retreat days, is kind of our cost for that. So when I come to these conversations, I try to apply that type of thinking to a $79 purchase, and it's not fair. This is a $79 decision. So when I say give you all your money back, whoop-de-doo, I'm out a couple $100. It's not that big of a deal. But here's the thing that's most valuable. I've learned this, Jack. I just hit 50, and it's not money, it's time. That's the one resource that's not renewable.
Yeah.
I don't care about the money as much as I do my time. What's more costly is spending 3 months and not getting results. So we're going to show you today what you can do day one to know if it's working within just a few weeks, because I think the burden is on us to show you what you can do now to get results now so that we can build momentum towards 90 days.
Yeah.
Because we're not like we're going to wake up on 990 and say, hey, did it work? It's not that binary. We're going to know well on our way.
Right.
Okay. And I'll still buy you tacos. So here's the
That's
way
right.
it's going to go. That's right. All right. So let's talk about things. When you think about mobile, what are all the ways that you've seen campaigns and customers use mobile effectively? We talked about social, obviously, but social and beyond. What are some of the ways that you've seen mobile in the moment?
Well, I would say, obviously, text messaging works. It's the preferred form of communication we all use, and it just is. I mean, it overtook phone calls years and years ago as the number one form of communication in the globe every day. And so there's that, right? And then you step away and you go to the socials, right? We just talked about it, and I think for nonprofits, we did a little bit of an Instagram study a while back here at Rally, and we were looking at great nonprofits that had a lot of followers. You'd think they're like, wow, these guys are really doing it right. They got 40 or 50,000 followers, and they'd get like 8 likes, if that.
If they're lucky.
So it's kind of like, what can we do in that market? So in the social area. So I see a couple of things. When we all pick up our phone, we check our, maybe it's easier to talk about that. We pick up our phone, we check our text messages first. We see that flag. And then if you're older than 45, you go to Facebook. If you're younger than 45, you might go to Instagram, maybe Snapchat, but you probably go, to Instagram, right? And then you go, oh, dang, I need to check my email today. Right. And you go to your crap email inbox. That's
a great point.
You never check.
How do you use your phone? That's a great thing to ask.
So I think all of us do that. That's kind of my order of operation: text, social, and then my personal email account, my work email account.
Yep.
That's probably it. And maybe that's the same for everybody else. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it'd be a good question. It'd be a good audit to do. And so I was thinking as you were talking, I had actually, spurred a thought. There's a management guru named Peter Drucker. I'm sure a lot of people have heard his name. Great, wrote many good books, well worth the read. But he makes the comment, or has made the statement that what gets measured gets managed, right?
Yeah.
So the surest way to improve anything in an organization or even in your personal life is to just pick one thing to measure. Measure it today, get a benchmark, get up tomorrow, measure it again. Just as long as you're measuring it, it'll shift your consciousness and your thinking and your process to that. So a dirty little secret, Jack, in my consulting and coaching, all I really have to do is get 2 or 3 measurements up on the board that we agree on that will make an impact on your business or your organization, and then hold you to measuring that, and we will see an improvement. I guarantee it.
Yeah.
Because just bringing it out of the airy-fairy, no one's watching that measurement to the now. If you ever want to slow down a meeting, start watching the clock.
Right. Yeah.
If you ever want to slow down your day, start watching the clock. If you want to just let things roll and kind of lose yourself in the moment, then concentrate on something other than time.
Yeah.
You know, the enjoyment of the company, the quality of the conversation, the feeling of the sun on your face. Anything else that you're measuring will shift the entire context and experience that you're in, and give it new meanings. I say that in this course of conversation. If you're doing social media and you want to improve it or get good at it, then let's identify what you want to measure. Is it likes? Is it engagements? Like what is it? Anyway, I don't know if you have any thoughts on that, but in a sales guy, you measure a lot. What kind of things do you measure in a day?
I measure engagement.
Yeah, there you go.
So you and I have been talking about some things lately, but I'll give you an example. I'm working with a nonprofit here locally, just giving back.
I love it.
I was given an email address, director. Okay, I'm a director there. It's a big organization, actually.
Yeah,
it's about $5 million in revenue every year, so it's not huge, right?
But it's a good size. Yeah.
But I have this Gmail account, and I started using it because I'm trying to raise some money, actually, for an event. We have an event coming up, 80th year celebration.
5 million is a big budget.
And I have no tools. It's just a Google business account.
Did you say Gmail?
It's a
okay. The Google apps. Okay.
Yeah, the Gmail for business or whatever.
I got you. That's fair. Okay.
And
I was going to slap your hand there for a minute, but okay, I'll let it go.
But there's no like CRM behind it. And I can't tell if these people I'm trying to fundraise from and get some products like donated, I can't tell if they're opening these emails or not. And it's killing me.
Yeah.
It's killing me because in all other parts of my email life, I have tools that track opens like by person.
Yeah.
And I use HubSpot for all that other stuff, right? But I feel like I'm disconnected from my success because I can't measure. And actually, this nonprofit event coming up is going to have hundreds of people at it, a raffle, everything else. That's really important for me to know if people are engaging with my emails or not. So I kind of know what nonprofits are going through if the nonprofits aren't using great
simple
tools.
things like tracking. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it just tells me everything. It tells me everything. If people are opening, engaging, replying back, and I'm lost. Yeah. So I actually started work this morning over my cup of coffee going, how do I get the team there to approve me using the account within my HubSpot CRM, my personal one for my consulting business? So, because I got to have the tools. So there's your answer, right? And I feel like when I was doing that today, I'm like, every nonprofit fundraiser feels like I do right now. Honestly.
Bless their hearts. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I relate. Yeah. Yeah. And there's tools like Boomerang, Yesware, Mixmax, HubSpot. HubSpot's my favorite as a CRM, obviously. But
me too.
But even Rally has a free link tracking service where you can create short links. But just knowing that, okay, this is how many opens and how many clicks. So here's a thought. If you're measuring, if the success is, okay, we're active on Instagram, for example, and I'm just going to pick Instagram, but maybe it's Facebook, I don't know, whatever, some platform. Then it's like, okay, how many photos did I get out, or how many posts did I make, or how much time did I spend? That's a measurement.
Yes.
Right? You spend 8 hours a week. And I've asked nonprofits this before. How much time do you spend on, what is the measurement of success for Instagram or social media? What is it? What is it like? Oh, I post twice a week. Okay. So success is twice a week or twice a day, whatever. Okay, great. How did that work out for you? Like, is that the measurement, or is the measurement replies or engagements, likes or clicks? And a lot of folks are tracking vanity metrics. They want to know that their content's being engaged with. Like, we all love to post on LinkedIn and have 200 likes and all these smiley faces, but is that really success? Am I interested in, am I just trying to get my name out there, or am I trying to get real conversation? Because maybe measurement should be how many phone calls came out of that.
Right.
Or event attendees or whatever.
It can't be all for the likes. There has to be
for the likes.
And I call it level 2 engagement, right? Like level 1, it's so easy. Like if we think about, let's just think about Instagram. When you moderately like something, you're like, oh, that's a funny post or whatever. It's effortless. It means nothing really to hit the heart button and give you a like. I mean, let's be honest, it's zero effort. But if I open up your profile and click the link to your website because you have a cool product, wow, that is so far away from just hitting the like button. So far away. I've gone to your main page on Instagram, and I actually went to your link and went to your website. And I'm looking at your pricing page. So
I'm there.
Way different. Right. So as we talk about metrics, people really need to think about how much weight they're placing on, just like you said, if I measure conversions, and that's kind of a fancy marketing word for folks, but if I measure conversions and use just a link for my Instagram page, a special link for my Instagram page, that's a way better metric than likes.
And so I think what I'd like the audience to understand is, we said we're going to make this something they can do in 30 days. The very first thing I do with a customer, even at Rally, is let's just pick one thing to measure. What does success look like for you? All right. So what is it that you're measuring? Because that's what we're going to manage. And together, that's what we're going to improve on. And by manage, I just immediately say that's what we're going to set our intention to do, a thing, and see if we can't improve said thing. Right. So if it is metrics, how can we, if it is like, okay, I just want to know how many likes I got, then I would suggest a tool that's free that will tell you audience that's liking it. Like on LinkedIn, for example, I love when I see 200 clicks, likes, loves, whatever, but I open up this tool and I look, it's free. Again, I look to see how many of those people are in the nonprofit market. How many of them are decision makers? Am I getting liked by a bunch of strangers that are not in my ideal target market, or am I getting liked by the people that matter? Not that the other people don't matter, but if I'm influencing conversation as a thought leader, whose thoughts am I stirring up? other people that are trying, vendors trying to get my business, or they're liking all my stuff because they want to, get in front of me, or am I actually impacting the people that I put on this earth to impact in a meaningful way? And that's the nonprofit people, right?
James, do you feel like, email has been overwrought with metrics?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the tools, the dashboards, MailChimp.
It's almost like we're swimming in data sometimes.
Right. I feel like as we talk about let's measure something, I almost feel like taking email off the table. Only because been there, done that. We've all been doing it for 20 years. Dashboards, mail, we all know the tools. Mm-hmm. And I feel like I would challenge people, and this goes for myself too, to look at something else. It'd be easy to default and be like, I'm going to focus down a little more on email.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, so it's funny you mentioned that. So yes, the likes and the impressions and the email opens or the email clicks. And again, there's some iOS things that we need to talk about. So if you're listening to the podcast, just know that today, iOS, or not just today, but years ago, Apple's making it more and more difficult to actually track clicks. Now, tools are smart enough to identify that based on the device that's clicking. So therefore, they're saying, hey, these are probably a percentage of people that don't actually count as an open or an engagement. So there's tools out there that will tell you that. I don't want to make it complicated. Just know this.
Right.
Your message has to be opened for it to be seen, right? And the benefit of text messaging is if you do the caller ID proper and the branding proper, then if you see a swipe or an open, then at least they were aware that you existed and they saw the first few words of your message. Right? Yeah. So how you craft the message and your brand around that message matter. Do we agree?
Yes.
So opens the first domino. The second domino might be the action from there, clicks to the website. What happened after that? So there's measurements for that, which is why we track that as well. And then I would say the third and probably the gold is, who are these people? Because if I tell you, Jack, hey, this weekend I presented to 1,000 people. I took out my megaphone. I went down to this lot and I started speaking, and 1,000 people were within just a few minutes or a few 100 feet of me. You might be super impressed, right?
Yo, for sure.
Yeah, it was a cemetery.
1,000 people, James.
Yeah, I went to the cemetery.
Perfect.
Went down to the cemetery, got my bullhorn out. Dude, I didn't get no one responded. No one.
Yeah.
It's too bad. Yeah. Lazarus wasn't there, so nobody came forward.
Well, that's a perfect story, though, because we all like to believe our own stories.
So if I tell you, like, oh yeah, I walked around and I had this amazing message, I had this incredible speech, I wrote it, took all night. ChatGPT helped me with it, so I knew it was good. So I went down there and I had a beautiful equipment, bought a new bullhorn, fresh batteries, but it was the wrong people. And I love, rest in peace. I just disturbed their peace, but I didn't really do this for the record. But my point is, like, that doesn't count. Like, that's not, like, I don't care that was 1,000 headstones. Like, that's not what we're after here. What now? I could say, well, I did demographic study. I got to the section of the park where it was the more recently deceased. I got the date of death right. But okay, that's the wrong measurement. So we don't really care about the date of death. They're still dead. They're not going to do anything, right? Now, if you said, hey, I'm going to, and please don't do this, but I'm going to reverse engineer that, the legacy, and go find their foundations, okay, now it's a stretch. But point is like, who are you speaking to? That's what matters. So when you say email metrics, I want to know, like, okay, email metrics to who?
Right.
How many opened it? Recent donors, zero donors, net donors, like what?
Right. And that's important because you can reach out, you can blast. We all can buy lists. Okay. It's not any secret. And so you can send to 1,000 people who don't even matter.
Yeah.
Or 10 people that are core donors in the, what I would call your ideal donor profile.
Yeah.
And these people are loving, caring supporters of your organization. I'd rather you measure that, what you did with 10 people this week versus,
way more valuable
versus you clicked blast an email message this morning and you spent 15 minutes moving over 1,000 people from a stupid CSV file. Yeah, and I get a little harsh about this because I've been on the receiving end of these.
Yeah.
So, but I'm just saying, like, 100% measure something, and that something better matter. Right?
So here's true story. Here's something our audience can take away today and actually do. Okay. So I had a customer call me last week and say, hey, we're going to send out our first text message campaign. Can you look over and see what advice you would give me? So I looked over. Message looked great. Content looked great. Contacts looked good. And I clicked on the link. It was mobile friendly. So it checked all the boxes, right? The presentation was perfect. Like, nothing was problematic. But one of the benefits of working with a vendor that does this all the time is I thought, well, that's kind of weird. The dollar amount it defaulted to 50 on the page. They were using one of our partners, beautiful, well-designed page, but it defaulted to 50. And I'm like, well, why? So I just asked the question, why $50? And she goes, oh, that's a good question. I don't know. I was like, well, why don't we go ahead and re-import the data, but this time include the last donation amount and then donation amount lifetime for the contact. And let's do an average. Turns out, Jack, the average donation, the last donation from this audience was $280 something. Lifetime was over 1,000 median. I do median on that one, not average. So I'm like, well, maybe we should default to 250 or 500.
Sure, go up.
Let's go up. Hey, let's not say, hey, donate to a group that is medianed at over 1,000, average last donation over 200. And then, there was people in that donated $25. Sure. You can get really targeted if the list is big enough. Maybe it's worth it. But in this case, let's at least use AI, smart forms, or at least put some thought into the default dollar amount.
Sure.
So in this case, we decided on 150, but not selected, 250 selected, 500, 1,000. That's what we did.
Nice.
So, and then of course there's another option to put any dollar amount any you want.
Like other.
So you would have to consciously choose to give less than the average, which you could do by selecting 150 or just typing another. It's easy enough just to type $50 in there if you want to. But the default was 250. I'll be damned if the average of that donation didn't exceed, I was right at 250 again. It was almost the exact same number because we started at the same baseline. Less than there, Jack. Maybe we should have just started at 300. Maybe if I had to do again, in hindsight, I would have done 150, 300, but the optics was like, let's just keep in the 50s.
It's simple, but these are the kinds of simple things that people can do to like, hey, what's my average donation? Okay. I have my donation page. Simple.
Very simple.
Yeah.
Just change the default. Most systems allow you to do that.
Right. But, and back to the metrics, I mean, it was actually a number that was measurable and significant.
It took me 5 minutes or 5 seconds. Actually, I just ran it. I just clicked on the field, sorted by whatever, there's an operation in the system that tells you percentage or average and median. And it was easy. So, here's what gets measured, gets managed. How do you make an impact in 90 days and guarantee it? Well, you just pick a measurement. If you're on social media, launch social media, keep doing what you're doing, lay one more method, one more path to your donation form. Just please, for the love of God, make sure we're at least measuring clicks. So if you're posting on social media and you don't own the analytics on that click event, like you cannot track the click, that's a problem. Like that, you should at least solve for that.
Yes.
So that it's at least getting clicked.
Yeah.
So use a short link service, the give.now like ours or fundraise.link, one of the ones that we provide you, but use at least a short link service that tells you that. Do you agree?
I 100% agree. So I think that's a challenge for people who are listening to this. Mm-hmm. It can be on your Instagram or your Facebook. Mm-hmm. That link that people are clicking to go find out more information about your organization should be measurable. Exactly. The clicks should be measurable. Yep. And I'm putting that up as a challenge. A lot of people don't do that.
Yeah. So start with the link click. Just get that done. Let's do that for a couple of weeks. Let's get used to looking at that number. What gets measured gets managed, and then watch the number of clicks climb because you're just aware of it, and you're now having intention.
Yeah, I'm going to be a numbers guy. If it were me, and some people might be out there like, how would I even do this? Okay, Google Sheet, Facebook, Instagram. For the week, you have your post on the date, how many likes, and how many clicks that week, because your post probably contributed to those clicks. I mean, it's the timing, 100%. Right? And it's not going to be perfect, but guess what? Perfect is the enemy of good. Yep. And so you just want to get some good numbers up and track it for 2 to 3 weeks. Yeah. And see, you'll be able to see, this post got me this. This post got me this. Maybe it's showing what donations do. The benefit, like, hey, your donations are allowing us to do this, to get to help us out even more, or whatever. Yeah. See the link in our profile. Okay.
Agreed. And if you use our link, and any link shortening service ought to do this for you, but ours for sure does it.
Ours is awesome.
Analyze. Yeah. We have the export. You can export it, run it through your own language model, AI, or you can use ours. But I just actually, as you were talking, I just did this. I pulled up a customer's campaign and pressed the button. So here's what I found. You ready for this?
Sure.
I just calculated it. So we have, let's see here. Okay. So this one customer, 81 campaigns in the last 90 days, 10,000 recipients, 10,019. So that deliverability was 87.25%. So 87% deliverability, which is awesome. A 4% reply rate, a 12.4% click rate, and then a bounce rate of 2%. So that just tells me there's some things wrong with that list we need to look at, but it'll opt them out anyway. So then I just said, then I asked the question, okay, what was the top keywords driving that engagement? The top use of the words power, use, conversation, and today resulted in a 1.5% increase in reply rate. So just using those combination of words got you a higher reply rate.
And that was on text campaign, right?
And that was a text campaign.
Yeah. So if you're listening to this, reply rate doesn't exactly translate because in a text message, we're not asking for them to reply back to the text message. We're typically transporting them through a link to a donation site or whatever else. So having a low reply rate doesn't really factor in.
Yeah. So 12%, I think, on click, and then only like 6% or 4%. But yes, you're right. Okay. So then the analysis on that was there was no question mark. So the recommendation was include a question to improve reply rate, and consider emojis that are more,
right. Exactly. Right. And since Rally has a conversational text platform, you should, if you're going to ask anybody for a reply, do it in text, not in email, because people reply to text all the time. So it's comfortable, natural, and human.
So the top reply keywords, I just ran that. The top reply keywords were reply and please and hello. I don't know what that means. I got to dig into that a little bit more. That's interesting. Okay, so this is the measure. So this is the word. So not just a click rate, but the actual words that we use. So I kind of switched over to text messaging.
Sure,
that's not fair. We were talking about Instagram or social media. So start with number one. Make it simple for yourself. In the next couple of hours, days, whatever it takes, start using a link service that will give you the time of day and that it was clicked, and ideally the IP address. But we could talk about why you would want that later. But the time of day and the fact that it was clicked, and then how many times it was clicked per person. Because then what we can do from that is we can say, what is our top end day, which is what I just ran. Thursdays afternoons was the highest click-through rate. So if you want to, so now okay, these are the times a day that I'm most effective, and then I'm at least measuring this. Now, the reason we built our own into our platform, Jack, is the next level, and that's level 3 analytics, where we want to get all of our customers thinking about is who are the people behind this click.
Yeah.
What can I learn about the individuals? Because, if I know that my response rate was 0 and it turns out they were all dead, okay, that's good to know. Maybe next time don't do it in the cemetery. But if I know that, hey, I have a good response rate and here's their demographic, their age band, or some data about that, because remember, we can enrich that data. So we know who these folks are. So if we know who these folks are, then we can start looking at, okay, what's the donor demographic data? What is the cross check of what we know about the individual household data, right?
Yeah.
So that starts to become a very, very meaningful, right?
I have a term that I use, a phrase that I use quite frequently, and that is facts and data set you free. And they set you free. And I know how, everybody, nonprofits are stressed and resource strained, and everybody's working hard for the cause and the mission, and there's a lot of emotion in it. And once you get a couple of weeks of data, then the facts and data set you free from that emotion. And what you're talking about is, and you're a very positive person. I'm a positive person. We don't want to talk about where we're failing. We want to talk about where opportunities exist. And when you get data and then you get deeper data, like, gosh, my text messaging or my Instagram isn't where I need it to be. Well, if you can get an idea of your Instagram followers, or especially in text, we can enrich the data, right? But I'm just saying, like, it doesn't necessarily mean you're failing. It just means that maybe your target, your ideal donor profile isn't correct. I mean, it's maybe a little off. So, all the data will do is will show you an opportunity. It won't show you where. Be careful about being like, wow, this was a fail. I got 35,000 followers and 4 likes. It maybe just means that there's an opportunity to change your message. There's an opportunity to do some of these other things. But if you don't have the data, you just don't, you're lost. You're on a map with, no compass.
And these are simple things. And I tell our customers all the time, and again, some of these tools are free. I can recommend, but at the end of the day, it's just measuring what matters, because what gets measured gets managed. So just pick the right thing. So if you're looking at likes and clicks, by all means, that's great. Look at the folks behind that to make sure you're getting likes and clicks. And then let's just agree that what you're doing It's very, what marketing terms would be top of funnel, just getting it out there a few times so that people are aware that you exist. But they're not doing any more because you haven't asked for more. They're not going to do more.
Yeah.
If you can layer into that a communication strategy to then lay text messaging or something on top of that, so we can move those people from Instagram or to Facebook or wherever into text messaging legally and with compliance, right? Number one, then the dominoes start to fall because now you're driving eyeballs into your message, and that's your audience at that point. They're no longer Instagram's audience. They're your audience. You own that contact record.
Gotcha. Yeah.
And then you'd run them back through level 3, which is what's moving the needle on that, right?
So,
anyway,
the goal for everyone after they see this podcast is find something to measure that matters and then start measuring it.
Yep. And then email James at Rally Corp or Jack at Rally Corp, but email us and say, hey, this is what I'm measuring. What do you think? I'm happy to jump on a or join one of our, we have workshops every week. If you're a customer or open office hours, just say, hey,
and we're on LinkedIn. We're on LinkedIn too.
On LinkedIn. Yeah. But I love this conversation on LinkedIn because then other people can see it.
Yes.
But let's have a public conversation about what you feel comfortable sharing about how you're measuring stuff. And it doesn't have to be anonymized data. I don't need to know to run these reports. We don't need any contact data. This is stripped of all identifiable information. We're just looking at like what is the words that drive the conversions or the clicks so that we can optimize for those.
Yes.
For the future, which is not hard to do. So I like this stuff, Jack. I know it sounds complicated, but it's fun.
I know. And I'm a data geek. So because when I measure things this will be my final thought here, is I started working in LinkedIn because I'm a sales executive, and I started working in LinkedIn, and I really, I would do a reply or do a post, and I wouldn't get very many impressions, right? That's kind of something I was interested in. And then I finally got in the right channels, and I went from one of my comments getting, 61 impressions to hundreds.
Yeah.
And I actually didn't change my message, but it was the channel that I found.
Yeah.
So here I was for the longest time thinking, man, nobody likes my stuff.
Yeah.
Like my posts are not informative.
Yeah.
Like my comments are just not interesting.
Yeah.
It wasn't that. It was the channel I chose. It was the audience that I chose.
Yeah, I offered a bowl of ice cream to whoever wanted it. It's right here, but nobody got it because they were in the wrong place. So, nobody in the cemetery apparently was eating ice cream. So.
Right.
So again, where you are matters, and to your point, the audience, right? So, same thing. I have 16,000 followers on LinkedIn. It's not, not a bad number, but it doesn't matter if they're all not folks that I'm actually trying to help, right? So I'm looking at like how many of those engagements are folks that I can actually help, and then I connect with them one-on-one to see how I can help, because I'm there to have conversation, create value, not just to say, oh, look at me, I got 37 likes on my comment.
That's right.
Who cares? That's not what I'm measuring, right?
Right.
So, all right, man. Well, hey, great conversation. Text coach to 24365 if you're in the United States, or mash that orange button on our website to sign up. We do text you from a number that supports international texting. So even if you're out of state, you can still receive coaching tips and tricks. So just swing by rallycorp.com and sign up. Jack, any final closing thoughts? Any final?
Well, just commit to measuring something.
I'm a son of a preacher, so there's like 3 closings is how I grew up. Yeah, my dad couldn't leave the room without saying goodbye 3 times.
Go for it.
That's right. All right, everybody. James at rallycorp.com, and Jack, thanks for your time.
Yes.
Right,
Thank
bye.
you.